It's a grind against Mech right now. If the games go late, you got to make sure your mentality is good, and you don't get completely demoralized.
Absolutely, it's so important. Well, map number 2 is going to be Echo, a map that's very similar to Coda in a lot of ways, a smaller 2-player map. Almost absolutely going to see TY go for that mech style with Hellion Harass. We'll see if ByuLzerg can adapt. You know, the pool first build didn't really get enough done, I feel, overall. Let's see how he opens here. Going into game number 2, let's see if he can tie it up, or if TY is going to take that 2-0 lead in this very important best of 7. Our very first finalist will be determined here in our last season of the year of StarLeague.
창의적인 전략, 메카닉에 대한 해법.
Up here to the top left in red, amongst the screams of many fangirls, it's TY.
Down here at the bottom right, for a second, we did see ByuLzerg. I'm sure we're going to go back into TY there.
On the missed camera direction, most likely.
There we go. Playing with his hotkeys. Up a game, looking strong in game 1. And down here in the bottom right, we did have that Zerg player, ByuLzerg, struggling against Mech. He managed to turn it around against Innovation. Can he do it against this player there?
That's the question. Checking for proxies already. Would not be surprised to see TY drop one of those down in this series. Not this early, though.
Yeah, he certainly has space to do it. But I wonder, maybe ByuLzerg's playing a little too safe. Maybe it's time ByuLzerg took some chances and actually just played extreme greed against someone like TY, who was most likely going to go for CC first.
I like to go back to this because you mentioned it a lot, and you can definitely see it. You could feel it, that Flash-inspired mentality, that Flash-inspired sort of greed. And we're seeing it here again, and I feel like it's definitely counterable. We're going to see a CC into gas. I mean, this is as greedy as it gets for a Terran player.
Yeah. I mean, he's taking all the chances here. He's just playing pure greed. As a Zerg player, drop down 2 hatcheries before a pool, and you've got a nice little lead there. But ByuLzerg is still paranoid of any sort of proxies that might occur. And, I mean, it's a best of 7. You do have room to make mistakes and take chances. You might as well take them before it's too late.
For sure. Absolutely. You know, the only best of 7 I can think of recently that ByuLzerg played was the GSL Finals, right? And he lost that. That was his first finals in Korea for Starcraft 2. There's a picture of We Made Fox's baby back in the day. He was actually using the ID TY, I think, from that season on. It's a Korean Air 2010 story. Go watch that intro if you haven't seen it. It's one of the sickest intros. That's where that picture is from. Super cool Brood War intro from one of our oldest final OSLs here in Korea. And TY, a player with a lot of history, for sure. A lot longer history of pro gaming than ByuLzerg. I mean, he's playing since he was 8 years old, right? So
yeah. To be honest, I think he'd have, like, by the time he's the same age as, like, ByuLzerg or Flash or anyone else, he's probably had more history than anyone in this sort of pro gaming career.
Right?
Like, because he started just so ridiculously young and had so much success despite his age, which is absolutely insane. I wonder if he had, like, great parents that, like, told him, like, you can play StarCraft, like from, like, when he was an infant.
So that's what the NBC Gamecaster was talking to him about. Is like, I remember when you were there, your parents came with you because they could take care of you, to come to the games and stuff because you were so young. And he's like, I always kind of felt inspired by like how supportive your parents were of you doing this at such a young age.
Sure, it's such a huge thing. It's like those parents that have like those child stars and stuff. They encourage them and take them to like the all the shows they have to do. Or, like it's kind of like that, but for pro gaming. It's gonna be me one day. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Made my kid.
StarCraft 3, man.
StarCraft.
Warcraft 4.
Yeah, Warcraft 4 will probably be what it is.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited potentially Warcraft 4 in the works. Just because I was never huge into Warcraft, and it'd be a fun new moment for me to get into that.
Yeah, it certainly is it's a completely different kind of RTS game, that's for sure.
Well, Link Speed just finishing up here, and with this, obviously, he has a little bit more freedom on the map. It's going to be with that quick gas, a very fast starport, which is so far unscouted. He also doesn't see the second refinery. A bit of a mistake here. He absolutely could have sacked a few more hit points to do that. And
yeah, that's a pretty big one here. But look at this. We do see those Lings moving across the left side of the map, so he's going to look for a counterattack by the looks of it.
Yeah, he might also be looking for a drop coming across, perhaps both. But it is going to be a Widowmine drop. We saw TY actually have great success with this versus Rogue. Let's see if he can repeat that success here in this very important moment. This is how TY plays, and if you study his matches, this is exactly what you want to be afraid of, is how much damage could he potentially do with a Widowmine drop. This time with Marines.
Yeah, interesting. The Marines are going to give the Widowmines a little bit more time to plant as well. And it doesn't... Oh, we actually are seeing a Spore Crawler already start for ByuLzerg, so it looks like he has a hunch of what's going on here, and he's actually going to go for a counterattack with those Lings at the same time.
Yep. Oh, the depots are down.
2 Hellions there, though. If they're intercepting... Oh, they are.
Notice as well the way that TY sent that drop across the map. He checked with Hellions for that Overlord in the middle, then dodged it, so he doesn't know the angle the drop is coming from. And here it comes into the natural. Already Queens and Lings waiting, though. I don't think he can actually drop these down. Well, he gets it for some crazy reason. I can't even believe that happened. Oh my god, that should have never happened. And now the main base, he's going to have another one.
Needs more practice against Widowmine drops, I guess. It's something Protoss had to deal with. I guess Zerg's not as much.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's brutal.
Not only did he lose those 6 drones with a ton of Lings as well as damage on the Queen as well. Just no splitting whatsoever there. And no focusing of the Widowmine itself. That probably could have also prevented that from happening.
Yeah, he was really confident that TY didn't focus fire it, I believe. That's why he didn't move everything at once. He's like, well, this drone closest to it's kind of by itself. I can deal with that, but it was focus fired into the gas extractor.
Now, this is actually basically exactly how we saw TY open against Rogue, like in Game 1. Of the round of 8. He just goes into the Widowmine Marine drop into fast armories. Can actually drop out some of the Hellbat pressure and even drop 2 drops full of Hellions and transform them into Hellbats. We've seen that before out of him as well. He's in a pretty decent spot because ByuLzer's third base was so late.
Yeah, I mean, ByuLzerg going for that sort of 2-base muter opening. He's going to go straight into it this time around. So everything's kind of delayed a little bit, which certainly gives TY more breathing space and more of an edge in economy. And it's going to be up to ByuLzerg to take that and go for a 4th pretty quickly as well. And let's see if he wants to go late game this time, or is he going to go in his sort of like Mutalisk into Roaches in the Mutalisk sort of style again.
Let's see. He's getting +1 for Roaches and Roach speed a lot faster this time. He's getting +1 attack for the Mutas as well instead of Carapace.
I like that a lot more. I mean, Carapace is cool, but...
Well, Carapace is definitely good if you're going to be harassing with a heavy group of mutas overall and you are going to be taking a lot of Thor shots while you're doing that.
Yeah, but I guess if you're trying to fight the Thors, it's a good choice. But
yeah.
if you're trying to play like a normal game and harass, maybe not.
Yeah, you'll kill the SCVs faster this way. Do have that 2 medevac full of Hellbat harass sort of coming out here that I was talking about before, but he's not actually lifted it up just yet. This turret is complete. And the first Vikings are out. The first Thor is not. Okay, it just popped out. It's pretty nearby.
Yeah, you know what? If he actually committed to that turret, he could have delayed this a little bit longer. These Lings coming up, though, are going to help out in a big way.
Yeah, here they come. And work on that turret already. And this CC is forced to kind of just float awkwardly here. And this also stopped his drop. He wanted to go for a double Hellbat drop, but these Mulas stopped that from happening. So now these Hellions are just kind of sitting here being useless. And this buys a lot of time for ByuLzerg to get that 4th base set up.
Yeah, looks like he might be going to a very quick hive as well with that Infestation Pit finishing up. Not choosing to just yet, just investing in some Roaches, whether to stop Hellion run-bys and attacks on these mineral lines or to go for an attack. We'll soon find out.
Remember, he has Roach speed, and +1 is about to finish. This turret, no repair.
Oh, double Thors there. That's scary. Ooh, so much damage.
Oh my god, the Thor pops out at the worst possible moment. ByuLzer's been a bit unlucky with these Thor spawns, to be honest.
Yeah, they have been pretty ruthless. He might get out this time.
Oh,
man.
Barely. That turret looks like it's going to burn down. Okay, no, it's being repaired.
All right, Hydralisk's den. So it's like he might be trying for the Roach Hydra Viper style, at least in this mid-game, to try and pick apart this mech.
I love how TY is just so careful about every sort of harassment move out he does. He always sends 1 unit to check what's on the other side before he goes. He never just blindly runs over a ramp.
Yeah, he's very smart with his units. He's been very impressive. That game 1 was very, very impressive how he used his Hellions.
Look at the zoning he uses these Hellions for this time. Now moving them back into safety. And just one siege tank with Thors means those roaches can't get anything done. But again, this is not a game-winning attempt here for ByuLzerg. He's just trying to harass so he can get his Hydra Roach Viper comp up. A comp we would have liked to see last game, but looks like we're going to finally see this game.
Yeah, let's see where it goes from here. Whether it's such a huge investment, or is it going to be more of like a transitional sort of army where you can trade, whittle down the Terran at least a little bit, maybe delay that 4th base while you look for those Ultras or Broodlords.
Even a small group of mutas over here not able to find any damage, like critical damage, but is weakening a lot of those SCVs for maybe a follow-up attack.
Yeah. And back on the army that we do see from ByuLzerg right now, I do actually like it a lot more, considering what he saw last game with such a heavy Thor investment. It's like, okay, you plan to go for this kind of Thor army. I can take that apart with Roach Hydra Viper if I play it well enough.
Yeah, something else I'm noticing is he's putting a lot more static defenses at his bases. A Spine, a Spore, goes a long way to defend just simply 2 Hellbats. Spore in the main as well from earlier on.
Yeah, I'm so happy we're seeing some static defense.
It's something you can absolutely afford as a Zerg player with 900 miles in the bank, at this point in the game.
Yeah, you should have at least, two spines at every base, and you can deal with any sort of drop.
He's even adding more, as we were saying this. 1 more Spore, 1 more Spine. Scans going down here as he moves out. This Roach army is trying to find an angle.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here, though. That's a lot of tanks. If he's fighting up a ramp like this, he's going to take maximum damage. Oh, that must have been like 5 roaches.
Yeah, 5 roaches and like 3 Hydras.
It's disgusting. Got to be so careful.
Still trying to find an angle. Unfortunately, he didn't see the opportunity at this CC. Otherwise, it would have been a good option to go for. Well, you see, again, these drops going around the map, but this game he's not finding much with them.
Not just, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, as the game gets later, and the Hellions get more upgrades, especially that +2, they start to do some real damage against workers. They start 2-shotting as well.
3 Vipers coming in with this push. This could actually easily kill this CC if the Blinding Clouds are good, if they're on point. Yeah. Let's see if he can actually make that happen. Look at this, intercepting the drop with mutas as well.
Very nicely done there from BL.
Seeing a whole new game here. Okay, here we go. Let's see where the Blinding Clouds could drop down. On top of the tanks and Thors here, and 2 different Zerg armies coming in, but I don't think it's going to be enough to do critical damage still.
Yeah, it's going to trade pretty well with the tanks, but such a great spread from TY, plus those Thors are going to be tanking for days.
Yeah, the reinforcing tanks that came in at the back as well, Bill didn't see those. The CC will complete.
Still, it kind of opens up a lot of the side of the map. A lot of those tanks went down. If he started to remax and try again, he might find a way in. Maybe even get some lings out to start coming from behind and tying up those tanks a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, finding another angle here as well. I'll go ahead and kill that destroyed cooling tower there. Those rocks.
Yeah, he might find something here. He's kind of committing a little too hard to his army, though. If we did see the Terran wrap around, he could just actually lose everything.
Now he's actually rotating pretty well with the majority of his army while tying up that Terran army. Going to kill some Hellbats here. And this is not a planetary at that 4th base. This is actually an orbital, so he's finding some more damage there with roaches as well. This is actually starting to be out of control. He's killing way too many tanks here.
Yeah, he's
TY falling apart.
Yeah, very, very overextended sort of army there. Moving most of his army back to that 3rd base as well.
And a lot of extra Vikings that just were not able to zone the Vipers. So if you're going to commit this much to Vikings, if they don't kill the Vipers, it's like, well, then you just have that many less army units to fight with. I feel like the rotation we saw there from ByuLzerg was really nice. He kept a small group of units to tie up those tanks and Vikings and then attack that 4th base. He's now going to find another angle here. Not the best Blinding Cloud here, but the second one hits 2 tanks. He's just got so many units here.
Yeah, he actually has enough to overwhelm, I think, at this point.
I think this is just going to be game.
Yeah, there's really nothing left over.
GG. ByuLzerg bringing it back, tying it up 1-1. A much better game 2 here, we see from him. A much better unit comp, more confidence with his engagements, and also a much faster tech to Vipers.
Yeah.
Coach is happy.
Well, the map as well had a big part to play in that. Dating a 4th base just a little bit harder, a little bit more exposed, and not putting a planetary there is such a bold move as well.
Yeah, that was a bit strange to me, a bit greedy. With a planetary, that would simply wouldn't have been able to happen. I'm not even sure who this is in the booth. We've never seen this KT coach before. Perhaps even just a personal friend.
Yeah, maybe. Well, either way, probably needs a little bit of advice after that one.
Yeah.
Try not to overextend, maybe wait a little bit longer. Look for more damage elsewhere if they're pressing down with Roach Hydra like that. Go for some Hellion run-bys and you try and put them out.
Yeah. So, TY definitely taking a shaky game 2 there. ByuLzerg's going to tie it up. We are going to take a commercial break, though, before we go to game 3. Spread the word, guys, about this tournament, about this semis. It's going to be really, really sick. So, tweet the link, get it out there, post on Facebook and stuff like that. We'll see you in just a few.